Hey guys, good morning. A little SmartHER news coffee talk as you kick off your day. It's been a busy day in our household already. We did some smoothie makings today. We spinach, Greek yogurt, strawberry. We're on a roll. The kids ate it. I think life is good for the most part. I just wanted to compliment all of you on the amazing discussion that we had over some of our news stories over the last 24 hours that we just posted on measles, the outbreak of measles, and also the question about vaccinations and who determines what vaccinations your child needs if they're in your states. So we had a great conversation about that on social media, and I just wanted to compliment you on that. The sharks coming for me? I got a lot of things coming for me, kid. I'm not as worried about sharks in Texas, but you never know. Land sharks? Anyhow, I just wanted to compliment you on some of your thoughtful comments on social media regarding vaccinations. It's an emotional topic. I know it is for me as a parent, and I choose to vaccinate my kids, but I still have questions. And sometimes when I have those questions for doctors, especially with my first child, some doctors didn't even want to entertain the questions. Maybe it was the wrong pediatrician. But it's okay to have questions, and we should be able to have questions and have thoughtful conversations. So thank you so much for what you've added. Okay, let me get to the news. We're going to have music accompaniment today, so I hope that's okay for you. Here's what I want you to know for today. So we'll continue our conversation on what's happening with the measles outbreaks. I'll continue to watch those, and I will continue to take your questions about different things we should explore regarding vaccinations. There's a new book that's coming out by a very leading voice in the pro-vaccination field. He's a doctor, and his daughter has autism, and he's just put out a new book that said, the title of the book, I believe, is Vaccinations Did Not Cause Rachel's Autism. I'm paraphrasing it. I've read it so many times now, just the title, because he's quoted in a lot of these articles. I think he'd be a great interview. Hey guys, I need you to go get dressed. Trace, take Liberty to your room. Please? No? I have no control. Does anyone have a good parenting book, by the way? Because that's what I actually need in my life. I'd love to do some more reading about interesting things, but I probably need... You're about to Bert? Okay, well, just don't throw up. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll do this really quick. Here we go. Last night we got some breaking news about a potential deal that will potentially avoid a government shutdown. This is a deal between Democrats, Republicans of both chambers, the House and Senate, both parties, working independently of the White House, trying to figure out funding for border security. We do not, as of right now, which is 7:45 Central Time, have the text of the agreement. So everything that you're going to hear about in the news as of right now is just according to reports. But if you're watching this later in the day, the text may have been released. The reason why they have to get this potential paperwork done is that the Senate needs some time to review it. It needs a couple days. So they can't just suddenly come up with an agreement on Friday. I mean, they could, and they can do a continuing resolution and keep the government funding and then get it to, they can do it, but it would be better if they gave lawmakers a couple days to review it. The big headlines that are coming out now, just according to reports, is that it includes funding for new construction for a border barrier, but it would be much less than what the president requested. Remember, the president wanted about $6 billion that would cover 200 miles plus of the border. We have 1,300 that don't have any barrier. He wanted 200 miles. So this, according to what we now know, which is limited, would just be less than $2 billion. It would cover a small portion of that. What I'm really going to be watching is this money, this specific money, which is the, if it's 1.7 or whatever it becomes, is that specifically for border barrier construction, or is that a part of a larger plan for other things? Remember, the president put forward a plan that included other things as well, in addition to the border wall funding. So how much money is this really for a barrier, and will that help determine whether or not the White House is going to go along with it? So that's something that we'll be watching for today, and we'll get a little bit more information on that. We'll see what happens. What we talked about yesterday apparently got moved off the table. Democrats wanted to limit the number of detention beds that they would supply ICE to have funding for, because some of this funding we're talking about goes to detention beds. Some of it goes to federal judges. It's going to other things on top of the money for the border wall, barrier, fence, whatever. So that apparently got kind of moved off the table. Republicans said there's no way, there's no deal. You can't limit the amount of resources that law enforcement needs if that's what they need. So, okay, so that's what's going on with the border wall and barrier. Kids are climbing on the furniture. It's fine. So that's one thing I want you to pay attention to today. Watch that. In the meantime, we did some interesting look. Trace, can you go into your room and get dressed, please? Listen, I need you to. We have to leave in like 10 minutes. Why? I know, because that's life, bud. Are we going to our new school? We're not going to the new school, but I need you to get dressed. Okay, sorry, mom life. So one of the things you're going to see on our website today, which I think is really interesting, it was a story, it's based on a Wall Street Journal article that was released last week about what's happening in the farm industry. Did you know that more farmers are filing for bankruptcy in this past year than they did during the financial crisis of 2008? I mean, it's really a bad environment for farmers, and it's not just because of the trade talks. So that's something that we're watching this week as well in China. Stephen Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, just landed in China. He's going to have meetings later this week with Chinese officials to see if we can come to some new trade terms. But right now, the tariffs that we're putting on China's goods and the tariffs they're putting on us are affecting U.S. farmers. And that's not the only reason why the farmers are having a bad year. It's been several years of basically oversupply in the world market. So we've had good crops, we've had a lot of crops, and unfortunately that's led to lower prices. And so farmers are dealing with lower prices. They're going to borrow money to try to kind of get them through a couple bad years because, it goes up and down in farming. The interest rates for borrowing after the financial crisis have really high rates, and it's harder terms. And so they're bringing on more debt, and then you have the trade deal situation or trade war. And so there's a lot of pressure on the U.S. farmers, and so it's something that I think we should watch. This is particularly affecting areas in the Midwest that produce beef and grain for us. Okay, well, sit down and rest for a second. I think it's going to be okay. So right now, that's just something I kind of want to keep an eye on. I think we don't talk about our farmers enough, and we really rely on them, right? So just take a look at that card today. I thought it was really, really quite fascinating. And I see one of you commenting that commodities in general are down. So commodities, we think about commodities like oil prices, but we forget corn. And so, these futures are traded as well. And commodity prices across the board have just been down, depressed. So in some cases, that's good for us consumers, right? You see crude oil prices lower and you think, oh, commodities are down. That means we're going to have lower gas prices, but it can affect other things too in a negative way. Hey, hold on. It's World War III. Hold on. I have a final thing that I don't want you guys to miss. Hey. You in your room. You come with me. Come here.
No.
Okay.
No, she took away my balloon.
Hey.
No.
Come with me.
No.
Please. Here, let me help you.
He's trying to found me.
Oh, it's not fun being a little sister sometimes. Come with me. Let's pick out what we're going to wear. Final thing you should know today is that it's Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Did you know it's Abraham Lincoln's birthday? Abraham Lincoln's birthday. Did you know that?
Yes.
You did know that? I didn't know that. Okay. It's Abraham Lincoln's birthday today. He's one of the few presidents that was born in a log cabin. Hold on. Yes. Here. Go. You guys have really gotten your full fill today. We have fights, we have bathroom runs, we have stomach aches, I don't know what else to say. Anyways, Abraham Lincoln's birthday today. He was born in a log cabin in Kentucky.
I will be careful.
We think about him with
Wait. We want to sing.
Hold on. We think about him as being, from Illinois, because that's where he, in law, that's where he worked, and he was a politician in Illinois for a while. He also kept a store, and kind of a general store in New Salem, Illinois, sort of by accident, and was the postmaster. Stop that. The postmaster in the town as well. So he did a couple things, but it's just interesting. There's been some debate over the years about whether or not he truly grew up in poverty. And most historians say yes. His father was a pioneer farmer, speaking of farming, and his mother worked in, was, I don't want to say don't know if saying a servant is accurate, but she was at one time working in the big house for someone. And she died when he was very young, probably about 10 years old or so. He loved his stepmother, and he referred to his mother as his angel mother, his birth mother as his angel mother, because he referred to his stepmother as his mama. Anyhow, just the beginning of an American president. And that started today in 1809. So there you go. Hope you guys have a great day. And actually, there's a lot of interesting things this month when it comes to President Lincoln we'll be looking at, including President's Day, which I know you're hopefully going to celebrate this coming weekend. Did I have that right? I mean, God bless if I even know what day it is. I know I'm responsible for delivering the news to you, but let's just be clear. It's a challenge sometimes, guys. Okay, have a great day, and keep the questions and comments coming, and thank you for your support of SmartHER News. Check out the rest of our information, smarternews.com today. Bye, guys.